All right, everybody. Brief video because running late. Had to deal with some more phone putzing, small talk for insurance and all that, which is so painful for an INFJ. Uh, and I have to go deal with holiday hours at work. But given it's a day before Thanksgiving, I at least wanted to get a brief video out and warn everybody. Holiday season, the narcissist's biggest hoovering time. This is when they're gonna lay it on thick. This is when they're gonna come at you with all they got. If you're no contact or if you're low contact, this is when you actually have contact. I want to go over some things to beware of. We're keeping this brief, so there won't be as much sidelining. One, they're going to try to romanticize the past, especially if they're baby boomers. Baby boomers, nostalgia is like, one of their favorite things in the world, because now the whole world, be it like the entertainment industry, movie and TVs, is all about trying to recreate the past, as is politics. Make America great. Reagan did that, and boomers are obsessed with the 80s and, that culture. Greed is good. And it's the same for the corporate Dems. Biden's trying to be as, Bill Clinton as he can. Because if you're a Democratic baby boomer, it's about the 90s. Ingenuity. But, so, yes, there's that. Don't let them try to, put rose-tinted glasses on your youth. They're going to try to make you nostalgic for the past. And one of the things that they're going to use is try to put good memories about holidays when you were younger. And, when you're a kid, you're excited about presents and all that. So, as an adult, it's totally different. But also, and this is one my family used to do, was they're going to put nostalgic good memories in your head. But those nostalgic good memories, most likely, as they did for me, center around relatives that are long dead. In my case, my grandparents. It's like, yeah, those were good times. I was very close with my maternal grandmother. She's been dead 20 years. So understand that if they're trying to, make you think of happy holiday times, well, perhaps the people that made those times happy are no longer around, or the happiness came from being excited, being a kid. Maybe you enjoyed playing with your cousins that lived far away and stuff. Not the same thing as an adult. All right. So that's going to be probably the biggest tactic they're going to use. They're also going to, of course, lay a guilt trip on you, especially if they're Italian or Jewish. Number one tactics. Who's better at it, Italian or Jews, is a debate as old as time. I think in the actual guilt aspect, at least according to my close friends who are in the tribe, they lay on the guilt a little better than the Italians. But Italian mothers, there's the added element of violence. So, yeah, the guilt trip's going to come, especially they're boomers because they're old now. It's like, oh, I'm old, I'm frail. They'll cry old and, they don't have much time left. But then the next moment, it's, this is still our time. We're still in our prime. It's still about us. You can't have it both ways. Either you're old and frail or, 65 is like 45. One or the other. Pick one. So there'll be that inconsistency. You're going to be dealing with those inconsistencies if you are hoovered back in. And be ready for the interrogation if you go. In other words, if you're no contact specifically, or if you're low contact and you're gray rocking when you have low contact most of the time, they're going to pry into that personal life, and about your job, where they want you to be working. Because remember, and it's going to be a separate video, but they want to keep you indentured servants. They want you to have a crappy job, working 12 plus hours a day, 7 days a week for shitty money, degrading work with scumbags that make you want to consider self-deleting yourself in the morning. We'll say that for the algorithm. Be aware of that. Give them as little information as possible. Oh, your love life. There's another one, especially if you're in your 30s and you're not married, because where are those grandchildren? Yes, those grandchildren that if they existed, you would get nowhere near, and you have no right to. I have no worries. I have no children, and my parents are dead. So, how about it, late? Where's the ENFJ girls at? No in-laws. No in-laws. 6 foot, 6 pack. Model. But I'm not rich. Oh, damn. support women's rights. I mean, I am a male Alethan, one of very, very few who earn the right to wear this. But nevertheless, your love life, big point they're going to hit on. Whatever you do, if you have a significant other, like a fiance they don't know about, a serious boyfriend or girlfriend, do not subject them to your family's insanity, because the nitpicking will be never ending. Or, you know, they'll try to convince them to leave you. You know, they'll slander you and what have you. You know the tactics, you know what they do, I know what they do, we've all lived through it. So don't go back. Don't subject yourself to that. Don't let the guilt trips work, even if you're under the misconception that it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. It is. It is. Remember, they don't change, and everything revolves around them getting their supply, getting what they want, and trying to force you to be the person that they want. You know, the subservient, you know, head nodding reflection or dulled reflection on them. It's a little hard to put in words, but in other words, they want you to be what they want you to be, and they believe they have every right to force that upon you. And how dare you exert any free will and not follow the path that they laid out for you, because they're the parents. Narcissistic parents treat you as an adult, as a child, but never let you grow up. Yeah, get it? If you've been through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So they expect you to act like and be responsible as an adult, as a child, to never be allowed to act like a kid, because as mine did, they will constantly bring up things from your childhood. You know, basically, like, I was being judged for things I did at 10 years old. Like, why wasn't I acting like an adult when I was 10? They'll even throw in the thing like, you know, and I'll be like, well, I was 10. They'll be like, well, you know, at the time, like, well, but you're 32. I'm like, my age now doesn't retroactively affect something that happened in 1997. In 1997, I was 10 years old. That will never change. You know, that doesn't change. You know, they'll try to play that game as if like your age now somehow retroactively affects your age. And it's like, well, didn't you, don't you think that was wrong? It's like, but I was 10 at the time, ergo my brain cognitive development was that of a 10-year-old. I can't retroactively send my consciousness back in time and try to rewrite history. I've tried. Ooh, have I tried? It gives me nosebleeds, and I don't know if it's even possible, but I've tried. Maybe I'm not witch enough yet. But be aware of that. They're going to attack you for anything they can think of, because, you know, if you're no contact, they got you back. They got to, you know, it's like if you haven't eaten for days and you gorge yourself. Same with low contact. With low contact, it's like, you know, like a special food you only get to eat once in a while kind of thing. And they're going to try to get as much supply off of you as they can. They're going to be as brutal as possible because they don't know when the next time's going to be. They're like a junkie going through withdrawals. Something I'm familiar with, given that my mother was a drug addict and a borderline. So, remember, especially if you've had the clarity of how bad it really was since going no contact or low contact, trust that clarity, trust your own intuition. Don't let them guilt trip you. Don't let them, you know, try to put nostalgic warm thoughts in your head or try to rewrite the past. You know what they did. You know what they're capable of, and you don't owe them anything. Got it? But subscribe to my channel.